beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. Today we are going to discuss the $80 million that President Donald Trump is clawing back from the New York City hotels, housing illegal criminal aliens, people who don't belong in our country, people who broke in over the southern border and the northern border, don't belong here. They don't have the paperwork. They don't have any visas. Not supposed to be here. Wreaking havoc and crime throughout sanctuary cities. We're also going to be talking about sanctuary cities, and if you're running a sanctuary city, or if you have part in running a sanctuary city, y'all need to be prosecuted. And we'll go through the list of people I think need to be prosecuted a little later on in the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is another wild weather day here in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border. It is going to be high winds between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., 50-mile-an-hour winds. So visibility on the road is going to get down to absolutely, positively zero like it was yesterday. Yesterday we had a huge snow event that happened in the Crown of Maine, and we got 13 inches of snow, which is absolutely amazing. We need it. We are going to be facing another snowstorm over the weekend. But next weekend, we are having an event called the Snow Bowl. And that brings in snowmobilers from all over New England to our little town. And they patronize our small businesses, our restaurants, our hotels. Can't get a hotel room next weekend if you tried. We're booked solid. And we appreciate every person coming in for the Snow Bowl this year. Last year was a bit of a bust. We didn't have enough snow last year for the Snow Bowl. So they ended up moving the Snow Bowl from Spud Speedway to the mall. And they had to bring in truckloads of snow from the Speedway. They had to tear down the snowbanks at the mall just to have enough snow to put on the event last year. But this year it looks like we're A-okay. We can hear the snowmobilers out and about. Everybody is on their new Christmas toys and they are zipping all over the place. We live in the middle of snowmobile trails, so it's just nice to hear the sound of winter all around us once again. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you might be. I hope you're having a day filled with fabulosity and dang good coffee, because you deserve a dang good cup of coffee to get through your day. Let's talk about the $80 million President Trump is clawing back from the New York City hotels that are housing illegal immigrants, criminal aliens. FEMA is giving money that should be aiding citizens of the United States during a disaster to hotels that are housing people that shouldn't even be in this country anyways. So y'all gotta give it back, and I'm very happy about that. We still have people in North Carolina that were affected by Hurricane Helene that have no homes, that have not even been helped because the FEMA workers were afraid to go on any property that had a Donald Trump sign in the front yard. They were scared for their lives. They were afraid that they were going to be hurt or injured or maligned in some way, shape, or form. So they never went to those homes to help those people fill out applications for the pittance of $750. The people who lived in those homes were men, women, children, babies that needed that money at that time. Because they had a Donald Trump sign in their yard, they were passed over. They didn't get their $750. And a lot of people still do not have their homes in the area that Hurricane Helene destroyed. Pre-presidential election, 2024. It is February, middle of freaking February 2025. And there are still people that are homeless from the hurricanes in 2024. Marinate in that a little bit. Your blood pressure is going to go up. We still have people in Maui from a few years ago that are homeless, can't get to their property, can't rebuild. FEMA did squat for them too. We have people that were affected most recently by the wildfires, $700 checks in California. What the hell is $750 going to do for people? But yet, FEMA can give $80 million to the people running the hotels in New York City, sanctuary city, protecting illegal criminal aliens committing crimes on the streets of New York. This should boil your red American blood, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures. This should boil your blood that this shit is going on. This waste, this fraud of your tax dollars. Shut FEMA down. Shut FEMA down. Shut it all down for all I care. I'd like to see it all get shut down. Now, if you're running a sanctuary city, here's the good part. If you're running a sanctuary city, whether you're a mayor or a city councilman, chief of police, y'all need to be prosecuted because you know that those people that you are aiding and abetting, keeping safe, the illegal aliens do not belong in our country. You know they need to be handed over to ICE and deported. But y'all ain't doing it. So you need to be prosecuted. And the list grows. If you are a state representative, you work in your state capital, people voted you in, and you know that there are sanctuary cities in your state, y'all need to be prosecuted because you have the power to shut them down. Fancy that? If you are running the jail systems in protected sanctuary cities and states, and you are told that Joe Schmo needs to stay there by ICE so that they can pick him up and you release them, you need to be prosecuted. If you are a state senator or a state congressman living in Washington, D.C., because you know you're not really living in your area, you prefer to be in your apartments in Washington, D.C., than to be at the home you claim you live with, your husband, even though you leave him up in Bangor all the time. You stay in Washington all the time. You know, sanctuary city, Sheldon Whitehouse. Sanctuary cities are being run in your state, bud. Providence, Rhode Island. You need to be prosecuted. Because you know what's going on. And you know funding is going there. Funding that you're helping to appropriate. If you are a governor and your state has sanctuary cities in it, right on, you need to be prosecuted. Absolutely. Because you have the authority to shut those sanctuary cities down. Fancy that. The citizens of your state are not safe as long as illegal aliens, criminal elements are running the streets of that state. You need to shut them down. You need to be prosecuted. If you are DMV administration, you're running the DMV, part of the administration, and you are allowing illegal criminal aliens to have driver's licenses. They got no business having driver's licenses because they got no business being in our country to begin with. You need to be prosecuted. You're breaking laws. You're making it up as you go. Ask the people of Springfield, Missouri, with the Haitians behind the wheels. The illegal, criminal aliens, Haitians that came over the southern border, settled in Missouri, went to the DMV, were allowed to get driver's licenses. Heavens to Betsy. They have run over pedestrians on the streets. They have caused major traffic accidents. They are driving unregistered vehicles because they don't understand that they have to register the vehicle. They don't really understand how to drive in our country. People are being hurt and injured and murdered by illegal aliens driving in sanctuary cities, in sanctuary states. They are being allowed, people who have no business being in this country are being allowed to go into the DMV, ask for an interpreter, take the written driver's test in their language, have an interpreter during the road test, then they're handed a license by sanctuary cities. Absolutely incredible. It was about 16, 17, maybe 18 years ago that my in-laws were having a normal day in their life. It was a Saturday. They were doing their grocery shopping. They were out and about. And then everybody's life was turned upside down in a second because an illegal criminal alien that was housed in the sanctuary city of Providence, Rhode Island, got behind the wheel of an unregistered vehicle without a license, did not stop at a stop sign, blew right through the stop sign, T-boned my in-laws, trapped them in their vehicle between a building and the illegal criminal's car, had to have the jaws of life get my mother-in-law out of that vehicle. Thank God my father-in-law walked away unscathed. My mother-in-law had several ribs broken, could not work, lost months of her income, had a hard road of recovery, was immobile for quite a bit. The illegal criminal alien that hit them ended up in traction at Rhode Island Hospital. Supposedly was to be deported. However, as the release from the hospital date came about, through what the lawyers could gather, and the deportation was supposed to be taking place, no further information was given on her. We don't know if she was deported or if she went back to the place she was staying in Providence, Rhode Island, because it was a sanctuary city. Our family has been touched by tragedy because of these damn sanctuary cities. More than once. It's a shame how United States citizens are getting hurt, maimed, injured, robbed, murdered by people who don't belong here. And from the top to the bottom, politicians, local law enforcement, They're not doing a damn thing. They're keeping these people in their cities. They're keeping them fed. They're keeping them housed. They're playing catch and release. And it needs to stop. It should boil your hot red American blood, ladies and gentlemen, that these shenanigans are allowed to go on in our country. If you come here legally, we want to have you here. We want to learn from you. We want you to be part of our community. But if you are here because you snuck over the southern or the northern border, we don't want you. We don't want you here. We don't want you committing crimes. We don't want you if you aren't committing crimes. I can't call you law-abiding because the minute you set foot in our country, you broke the law. But even if you aren't out running the streets, creating havoc, maybe you just want a better life. You did it wrong in the first place. You've got to leave and come into our country the right way. The legal way. The honest way. And yes, the expensive way. How does everybody feel about President Donald Trump clawing back $80 million? Drop your opinion in the comment section below. How do you feel about prosecuting the people from the top to the bottom, from the local to the federal level, that are allowing sanctuary cities to be run in possibly your state? Drop it in the comment section below. If you've gotten this far in the video, think about subscribing to my channel. We do a lot of different things here. Always something going on. Always new shenanigans of the day. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Share the show with everyone you know. And as always, be the kindness that you want to see in the world. Carpe Diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.